In the middle of a jungle in Southeast Asia, there is a temple so large it has its own horizon. It covers more ground than any religious building ever constructed in human history. And the civilization that built it vanished. Not slowly, not over centuries, almost overnight. One of the most powerful empires in Asia, gone. The jungle swallowed their cities whole. Trees grew through their palace walls. Roots cracked their stone temples open like they were nothing. For 400 years, the outside world didn't even know it existed. And when a French explorer finally hacked through the jungle in 1860 and stumbled upon what they'd left behind, he didn't believe humans had built it. This is Forgotten Kingdoms, and this is the story of the Khmer Empire. Before we get to the collapse, and trust me, the collapse will shake you, you need to understand what the Khmer actually built, because this wasn't a small civilization. This wasn't a forgotten tribe in the jungle. At its peak, the Khmer Empire was the most powerful kingdom in all of Southeast Asia. Their capital city, Angkor, was home to nearly 1 million people at a time when London had maybe 50,000. 1 million people. In the middle of Cambodia, in the 12th century. It was the largest pre-industrial city on the face of the earth, and at the center of it all, Angkor Wat, a temple so precisely engineered that on the morning of the spring equinox, the sun rises in perfect alignment with its central tower every single year, without fail, for 900 years. These were not primitive people. These were not lucky builders. These were engineers, astronomers, and architects operating at a level that still makes modern scholars stop and stare. So what happened to them? To understand the Khmer, you have to understand one idea that ran through everything they built. Devaraja, the God King. The Khmer believed their ruler wasn't just a king. He was a living god, a manifestation of Vishnu or Shiva walking among men. And Angkor Wat wasn't just a temple. It was the earthly home of the gods, built to mirror the heavens, designed so the king could perform rituals that kept the universe in balance. Every stone placed was a prayer. Every tower built was a mountain. Mount Meru, the home of the gods, recreated on earth. The man who ordered its construction was Suryavarman II. He came to power in 1113 CE not through inheritance, but by killing his great uncle in battle. Ancient carvings show him leaping from elephant to elephant across a battlefield to reach his rival. That's not a metaphor. That's what the man actually did. He was 20 years old. Within years of taking the throne, he mobilized an army of workers that some estimates put at 300,000 people, not soldiers. Workers, architects, sculptors, laborers, all of them building one thing, the greatest religious monument the world had ever seen. It took 37 years to complete. Suryavarman II never saw it finished. But here's where the story gets complicated. Because Angkor Wat was just the beginning. The Khmer Empire didn't peak with Suryavarman. It peaked 70 years later, under a king who had every reason to give up before he started. In 1177, disaster struck. A rival kingdom called the Cham launched a surprise naval attack up the Mekong River. They sailed straight into the heart of Angkor. They sacked the city, killed the king, looted the temples, the greatest city in Asia brought to its knees in a single raid. Most empires don't recover from that. But a prince named Jayavarman had been watching from exile. He'd spent years living outside his own kingdom, traveling, studying, waiting. When Angkor fell, he didn't hide. He came back. He rallied the Khmer people with something more powerful than an army. He gave them a reason to fight, Within 4 years, Jayavarman VII had driven the Cham out of Angkor. And then, instead of just rebuilding what was lost, he built something the world had never seen. Jayavarman didn't just reconstruct Angkor. He expanded it into the largest urban complex on the planet. He built Angkor Thom, a new royal city surrounded by a moat 8 miles long. He built 102 hospitals across his empire, free healthcare for every citizen. In the 12th century, he built 121 rest houses along the royal roads, like the world's first highway rest stops, so travelers always had shelter. He built the Bayon Temple, covered in 216 massive stone faces, each one smiling the same serene smile, watching over his kingdom from every direction. Some historians believe those faces are portraits of Jayavarman himself. A king who survived exile, watched his capital fall, rose up, rebuilt it all, and then put his face on every tower so the empire would never forget what one man's will could do. But here's what I keep thinking about. All of this, the hospitals, the highways, the temples, the 1 million people, it disappeared. Within 100 years of Jayavarman's death, the Khmer Empire was gone. How does the largest city on Earth get swallowed by a jungle? Historians argued about this for decades. Was it war? Was it plague? Did the people just leave? The answer, it turns out, was something nobody expected. Water. The Khmer Empire was built on one of the most sophisticated water management systems ever engineered in the ancient world. They built a network of reservoirs called barais, some stretching 5 miles long, that stored monsoon water for the dry season. They built canals that connected the entire city, aqueducts that fed the rice fields. This water system is what fed 1 million people in the middle of a jungle. Without it, Angkor couldn't survive. And then, the rains changed. Modern researchers drilling into ancient trees near Angkor found something extraordinary. Tree rings don't lie. And these rings told a story of 2 catastrophic droughts in the 1300s and 1400s, each one lasting decades, followed by violent monsoons that overwhelmed the very canals built to manage water. The infrastructure that had sustained the empire for 500 years broke under the pressure. The rice fields failed. The food supply collapsed. Tax revenues dried up. And at the same time, a new regional power was rising. The Thai kingdom of Ayutthaya began pressing from the west. An empire already weakened by drought and internal collapse now faced military pressure it couldn't sustain. In 1431, Ayutthayan forces captured Angkor. The Khmer court abandoned the city, and the jungle, which had always been waiting, moved in. Within decades, trees were growing through the temple walls. Within a century, the city was gone. For 400 years, Angkor sat in silence. Local Cambodians knew it was there. Buddhist monks kept Angkor Wat itself maintained. It was never truly abandoned. But to the Western world, it simply didn't exist. Until 1860. A French naturalist named Henri Moreau was pushing through the Cambodian jungle collecting butterfly specimens. And then he saw it, a tower rising above the tree line. Then another, then another. He stepped into a clearing, and standing before him was Angkor Wat. He wrote in his journal that night that one of these temples could take an honorable place beside the most beautiful buildings in the world. He genuinely could not process that this was built by humans, not because he didn't respect Asians, but because nothing in his experience had prepared him for this scale. The greatest city in the medieval world, hidden in a jungle for 400 years, found by Frenchmen looking for butterflies. Here's what I want you to sit with. 1 million people lived in Angkor when London had 50,000. They had free hospitals, a highway system with rest stops, and temples so precisely built they still track the equinox today. And for most of Western history, we acted like civilization only happened in Europe and the Mediterranean. The Khmer Empire is proof that the ancient world was more extraordinary than we were ever taught. These people built something that still takes your breath away 900 years later. And the jungle tried to swallow them whole. It almost worked, but we remember. That's why this channel exists. If this story moved you, subscribe to Forgotten Kingdoms. Because next week, we're going to an empire that controlled half the world's gold supply. A king so wealthy, he accidentally destroyed the economy of an entire country just by passing through. I'll see you there.